بدأت الحكاية منذ مئات السنين بين القبائل العربية في صحراء الجزيرة القاحلة، عندما تولد عشق بين الجواد والفارس. ورغم كل الظروف القاسية استمرت شعلة التلاحم بينهم حتى يومنا هذا. وقد حظيت الخيل العربية على مر السنين برعاية إلهية سخر فيها العديد من عشاق الخيل الذين حافظوا على هذا الإرث العتيق جيلا بعد جيل من المشرق إلى المغرب.
So, Judy, we go back to the mares. If we recall, I don't know if we missed any stallions. We'll start with the mares, foundation mares at the Zahra that you had a chance to see. Maisa.
Quite large, fairly tall, flea-bitten gray. A lot of flea-bitten. Pretty mare, long neck, strong body. She was a strong-bodied mare. I would say medium in length. Very attractive head, nice eyes. Not exotic, but just looked like a really good foundation mare overall. Pretty mare. I liked her a lot.
You got a chance to see Bint Maisa also?
So there were two Bint Maisas.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw Bint Maisa. Bint Maisa was a big mare.
Yes.
Big mare. Again, kind of on...
Bint Maisa or Bint Maisa Sagira?
El Sahira.
Al Sagira.
The other Bint Maisa was smaller.
Uh-huh.
They mixed up the names.
Yes.
But the Bint Maisa that went to the States was a tall mare.
Which is the bay.
Big bay mare.
Bint Maisa Sagira.
Yeah. She
like her mother, same qualities?
She was bay. She was a little different, but she was big. I mean, she had the height and the size.
Movement?
Really good moving mare. Super good moving. Won a lot of championships. I mean, she and Ibn Halima were the two horses of Egyptian breeding that really got the renaissance of the Egyptian horse in America started. Tom rode her in a lot of performance classes. She also won in halter. Really lovely mare. Big. I mean, she was a pretty good size mare to carry him too, because he was a big man. So that family was relatively substantial, and as of the Daman strain, it was different from the Frida line and the Sabah, which went back to the old El Dama mare, which she did not.
You also saw, of course, you had Bint Bukra, but you also saw Bukra. So, can you describe Bukra for us, please?
She was an older mare. I remember when we first saw her, she was, again, heavily flea-bitten. Just had a very special nobility about her. She was a bit longer in the foreface, kind of what you'd call the camel face, sort of like Moniette on the Foos. A little more square muzzle than Moniette. But very elegant mare, fine-boned, nice overall balance, a little peaky in the croup.
Not so big in the size?
She was good size.
Good size.
I would say she was...
Like comparing to Maisa, smaller?
She was a little bit smaller than Maisa,
Okay.
And not as substantial an individual. She was more refined.
Yes.
More refined. She and Moniette always used to kind of hang out together and want treats, and both of them were Shalul daughters. And both had that longer foreface, which you see coming through in some of the progeny today, in the generations later. But she was a very elegant mare.
Yes.
Very refined overall.
Now, speaking of Shahlul, we forgot Shahlul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw Shalul.
You did not?
No.
Okay.
Did not see Shalul.
When you saw Bukra, she was very old.
She was old, yeah.
Yeah, old. Also Moniette.
But she wasn't old. But yeah, Moniette was, I think Moniette was born in 46, so she was, we saw her getting older.
Yes.
And I think Bukra was, kind of showed her age more. I just don't remember how old she was when we first saw her.
Okay.
The pictures I have of her show her fair, in fair condition. She was pregnant at the time too, so most of the pictures I took of her were, some were in good condition, some weren't. But they were both really elegant mares.
One of the older mares was the mother of Ibn Halima, the baby.
Halima,
yes.
yeah. She was not a big mare. I don't remember the size, but I'd say she was medium size, good balanced mare. Not something you'd jump over the fence to go see, but very pleasing. A pleasing brood mare, good body, nice neck with a nice mitba. Pleasing head. She was bay, rather medium short head, nice eyes, not much of a dish. Just a really nice broodmare type. Good legs. She was a nice clean mare. Really nice clean overall. And moved well. Good mover.
What did she produce other than Ibn Halima?
Well, Ibn Halima had a full brother that was bay, that was quite nice. They sent him up the Delta. He was one of the ones that came back, but unfortunately he was sterile. Didn't look like Ibn Halima, but a very nice horse. Very nice.
Remember his name?
Gali, I think. No, not Ibn. No, I can't remember. It wasn't Gali. It was something. I think it began with a G. I think I have some pictures. Probably it's in my collection somewheres. Murafik had a full brother too. Didn't look anything like him.
Yeah.
Actually, looked a lot like Abbas Pasha, and Saad Abbas Pasha.
Murafik's full brother.
His full brother. Yeah. Where were we?
So we were discussing Halima and her get also.
Oh, the sister. He had a full sister.
Yes.
Halima had a sister. As a matter of fact, her name was Nawara, and we wanted to buy her.
Nawara.
A lot like him. Not as pretty in the head, but very similar. Super good body. Just overall excellent filly. Nice eyes. She didn't have the dish that Ibn Halima. She was a little bit more like her mother, but a really solid young mare. We wanted to buy her, and she came down with this parasite, like EPM, that struck the nerves in her spine,
and she died.
And she died.
Yeah. Did many horses have dish at that time? Was it dish
not
prominent?
To the degree that they have today.
So it was not prominent in the herd that you saw?
No, not in my opinion.
But like, for example, Muniat had it.
Muniat had it. Bugra had it.
Yes. Murafik had it.
Murafik had it. Extreme.
Aladdin.
Sidaboom had it.
Sidaboom had a dish? Yes.
Aladdin, little, but not much. He had a very tapered face.
Yes.
Nazir didn't have a dish.
Yes. Bint Bukra?
Well, Bint Bukra, yeah, my goodness, yes.
Yes.
Bint Mabruka did not, but she had the huge width.
In the eyes.
Between the eyes. No, the horses with a major dish, I'd have to really stop and think about.
Bint Nafisa?
No.
No, did not have it. No?
Nafisa was she was a really good-bodied mare, very plain head, but super good structure. As did Bint Nafisa, who was a Nazir daughter, had a beautiful head and beautiful eyes and beautiful structure. Small. They were not very big, but overall, just really beautiful balance.
And Bint Nafisa? Same.
The Marshall Bint Nafisa.
Yes.
Pritzlev had a Bint Nafisa, and she was bay.
Also called Bint Nafisa? It's a different name.
I don't know. Maybe the name was different.
Yes.
Or they maybe added an A to the Marshall Bint Nafisa. But Pritzlev's mare was bay. I remember she had big eyes, but she was plain.
You saw also Dahma too, Dahma the second.
Yeah, she was the mare of one of Pritzlev's imports that did carry on quite a bit of his bloodlines. She was a very nice mare. Yeah. Real typical Daman square, pretty head, nice eyes, just really lovely mare.
Also the Mashur daughters, the Mashur Ghazala.
Oh, she was drop dead gorgeous.
Yes.
She was probably the prettiest mare on the farm.
I mean, when you say gorgeous...
just absolutely stunning.
A mare that will stand out even today.
Even today.
Yes.
Although probably not as much today as she did at that time. But she was lovely. Very elegant neck, beautiful head, big eyes, moved beautifully, tail carriage. She was the ideal that you would expect of that Farida line. But she never produced anything comparable.
Was she bred right?
I don't know, remember what they bred her to. She had a daughter called Inas,
Yes.
I believe.
Inas and Binti Inas also came after that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm trying to remember who Inas was by. She was
I
not.
forgot.
She was. She was by one of their good stallions. Not anywhere close to her mother.
Yeah. You recall also the mare Huwaida?
Hoida, yeah. Hoida was another one experiment that Dr. Marsafi and I discussed.
Yes.
I believe she was Marafic bred back to. I think it was a Mona daughter. Was it Marafic and Mona or a Mona daughter? I can't remember.
Yes.
Anyway, that was she was a big chestnut mare, fairly scopy but not terribly pretty. But she produced an absolutely unbelievably gorgeous bay daughter by Ibn Halima. So blood will tell. I always say
It's true. Many horses. I'm really surprised how your memory is really is good. But I think first impressions are really never go away. They never go away.
Yeah.
The Hadban, you never saw Kamla, but you saw Binti Kamla, or did you see Kamla?
I can't remember. I don't think I saw Kamla. I did see Bint Kamla, yes.
So,
And she was very pretty, very fine bones, as I remember. Extremely pretty head. The Kamla family had tended to have a kind of a problem in the hindquarters. I remember we wanted to buy, just a gorgeous bay filly of that family.
by which stallion?
I can't remember who it was by. Might have been, if it was by Galal. I don't know, but she was stunning. I mean, the family as a whole has produced extremely beautiful.
You're talking about the straight hind leg in that family?
Yeah, very.
Is it the Kamla, or is it specifically, or is it the Hadban overall? I mean, did Aswan have a little of that? Did Nazir has a little of that?
No, not to that degree.
Not
Not
to
at
that
all
degree.
to that degree. No, because I saw it consistently, and I don't know where it came
Binti
from.
Kamla is not a double Hadban, in a way?
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe.
but I didn't see it in any of the Nazir get or any of the other Hadbans. I don't know if it was in the stifle or whether it's just straight. It was very straight.
Very straight hind legs.
It was kind of reminded me a little bit of Gassir when I rode him, or Jassir. He had that very straight.
But he's not Hadban.
No, he wasn't Hadban.
No, he
but
wasn't.
he was still strong, but it was not a comfortable ride.
Yes.
Put it that way.
What other families had this straight hind leg?
I don't remember any.
Yeah.
I only remember it coming from that line.
Specific Binti Kamla, yeah.
At least not that I can think of. I remember we had a filly, but it wasn't the same. It was a different structure. This is a straightness, and it's straight kind of from the stifle, from the patellas down.
Yes.
We had one filly, beautiful filly, and it was a Siklawi, and she had a problem in the patella joint, and 2 or 3 others from that family did, and I couldn't get rid of it. It was very difficult to breed out.
To come out of.
Very
It's true.
difficult.
It's true. The Binti Yusriya, speaking of Hadban, you also saw Binti Yusriya or Yusriya?
I think it was Bint Yusriya.
Yes.
I just vaguely remember her. I remember her having a pretty head, and overall relatively fine boned, and again a little bit of the peaky croup, which a lot of those early mares had, but a pretty mare. Nice overall balanced. Nothing exceptionally good or bad, so to speak.
Yes. Let's go to the famous Muniet in Nufus. So you also saw Muniet.
Oh yeah, many times. Muniet and I became old friends. She loved sugar. Every time you'd go, she was always in your pocket for sugar. I mean, she was spoiled. She was really spoiled. But she was lovely. She had a extremely pretty head, and not a large eye, but super interesting expression. And I'd say medium size, fairly well balanced, a little bit light in the hind end, in the croup area. Pleasing neck, good neck. I'd say average neck.
In the pictures, she looks like she has a nice also medbah.
Yeah, she did have.
Yes.
Nice midbar, decent chest on her, a nice shoulder.
You did not see her moving?
Oh, I saw her moving in the paddock.
Like running or
No,
so?
no. Not that I can recall.
Yes.
No. But most all of her family moved well.
Yes.
Her
Yes.
daughter, her daughter Mabruka, the two Sidabuhum daughters,
Yes.
Mona and Mabruka, both moved well.
Yes.
Mabruka especially.
Yes.
But she had she had a teacup muzzle too, for that camel face. The long foreface from the eyes down. Very fine muzzle, tapering. Buka had the long foreface too, but she had the square muzzle, not that real extreme taper. But the most beautiful head was Mona.
Out of Moniet.
Out of Moniet by Sidabuhum. She had a more extreme head than her mother. Very, very tapered, very fine. Again, the longer foreface. Not as long as her mother, but still the longer, what I would call the camel head.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful. Again, she didn't have a good hind quarter. She had a real peaky hind quarter.
Mona. Yes.
Mabruka had the better body, but didn't get the head. But she was a great producer and produced those huge eyes, and Bint Mabruka, and So both full sisters, both different, both very, very important in breeding programs. And again, they had another full sister, Lubna.
Lubna, yes.
Lubna, who was...
And Bint Moniet.
And Bint Moniet.
Not
Bint
full.
Moniet was more... half-sister.
Half, yeah.
Lubna was full sister, and she was gray.
Yes.
And some of her bloodlines are carried on through Sultan, I believe, and
Yes.
some others. But she was not as pretty. Good-bodied, didn't have as good a neck or as pretty a head. And she was the mother. Was she the mother of Galleon? Good-bodied mare. I mean, she was a solid mare, but I didn't think she was in a class with the two chestnuts.
Did you have you had a chance also to see Saad from the Kohai line?
Mm-hmm. Saad and Yashmak. Both.
And Yashmak?
Yashmak was a very when I saw her, she was older. Long mare, fairly big, long neck, long head.
Yashmak or Saad?
Yashmak.
Yashmak.
Bay. Short croup, very nice long neck, beautiful big eyes, beautiful eyes, kind of a long head. Not one of my favorite mares as far as balance and beauty was concerned. And her Saad was similar, but gray, maybe a better conformation.
Same eyes?
I think she had good eyes, as I recall.
Yeah.
Big mare. Those were both big, tall mares. Those Rodans.
Were they the influence of the father or the mother? Or the mother line?
I think the mother line.
It's the mother line?
And L.L. Dean, he was tall.
Yes.
Most of those that were of the Rissler family tended to be taller.
Yes.
The other branch of the Rialas tended to be more compact and reminded me more almost of some of the Damans in their structure. Salmon did extremely well with both the Rissler and Rodan. As a matter of fact, U.S. national champion Sambola, she didn't look anything like her mother, drop-dead gorgeous mare, and super bodied. He cleaned up the top line, beautiful neck. Interesting how certain combinations worked.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, I mean, you'll never know.
No, and the wonderful thing about a big farm is that they can take chances. They can make experiments. They win some, they lose some. Smaller breeders, it's very difficult.
And they can produce more horses also.
Yeah.
So more probabilities.
For sure.
The last one I recall is Al-Bata.
She was a bay. She and Halima kind of reminded me of each other, except she was a longer mare. Halima was much squarer. Al-Bata was longer. Pretty mare, longer everywhere, more Siklawi, I would say.
Yes.
Longer body, longer neck, longer foreface. She had several daughters by Nazir, one of which we had that was very beautiful, but hindquarters.
Could not be that fixed.
No, I think one of the daughters was okay, but she wasn't strong behind. Strange.
Yes, it's true.
It was certain combinations just.
Sometimes you don't even have enough time to fix it.
No.
Sometimes.
Well, or you may not have the right stallion to fix
Yes.
it. I tried with a couple and it didn't work.
What mares would have liked to taken from Egypt, which you were not able to take?
Bint Mona, but eventually we were able to use her blood after she was imported by Doug Marshall. But we had a choice. We had to take either her or Bint Mabruka.
Uh-huh.
And at that time, so we took Bint Mabruka.
Yes.
And Syed Mari ended up with Bint Mona, and then Marshall bought, you know, he was Minister of Agriculture. I guess he couldn't say no.
Yeah.
But I loved her. She was a beautiful mare. I would really love to have had her. And the filly, the Moniette filly that died, Maya was her name.
Maya.
M-A-Y-A. Gorgeous. Those two in particular stand out. I'm sure there were others. Nawara, of course, the sister to Ibn Halima. You know, there were some other very nice. There was a black mare. There was the mother of Nala. She was an El Saria daughter, I believe. I've forgotten her name. Actually, we could have bought her, but we decided to take the 3 babies instead. The Bint Bukra, the full sister to our Bint Bukra, was a really nice, very nice young mare.
The full sister to your Bint Bukra.
See, our Bint Bukra was named Hosniya.
Hosniya, yes.
And then the other mare was Bint Bukra because she was 2 years older.
Yes,
and
which is Nazir and Bukra again.
Right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Marsafi said, well, you know, Bukra had a number of sons, several by Nazir and including one by Marafik.
Yes.
So she was a good producer. But the Bint Mabruka, that was the full sister to our little one, was a very nice mare, but not as extreme in the head. But good balance. I mean, a very, very nice filly.
Then she produced Najwa.
And she produced Nagwa. And the interesting thing is Nagwa was gray, and our Bint Bukra produced Bin Misr, who was bay. So they were full sisters.
Yes.
In blood.
Yes.
And both went on to produce well.
Yeah. And we have the bloodline in the Beit
you
al-Arab.
have it here in Beit al-Arab. So it's kind of fun to see how each sister contributed over the years. Very, very important.
And I've seen a couple of examples also in Al-Zahra.
Do they still have? Yeah, I suppose they should still have something.
Yes.
How were they?
Very nice. I've seen one, remember, a long time ago. Her name was Malaika, Angels. Very nice mare. Very nice mare.
I wonder if it's still left.
Yeah, I don't know. That was 4 or 5 years ago. We will talk about the Ansata mares and stallions in a separate discussion later on.